Blake Lively insane and toxic? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. If you haven't already accessed my series on Blake Lively, I would encourage you to do so. Once again, a subject goes under the Tudor scope, and a forensic examination of her behaviour enables you to understand more about the type of person that she is. It's well worth engaging with. Accordingly, if you haven't done so already, you might want to pause this video and come back to it. If you have, or you simply can't be bothered, shame on you, I did determine that she is a narcissist. And the advantage of that is that it then allows us to look at her behaviours and interpret them through the prism of her narcissism. And some further information that has come to light not only cements her narcissism, but allows us to understand why she behaves in the way that she does. A piece written by Eileen Reslan for news.com.au, g'day, tells us 6 former staffers at Blake Lively's defunct lifestyle company, Preserve, are breaking their silence on the alleged toxic, unprofessional, and chaotic workplace they experienced. Interestingly, following the adverse publicity that she and Ryan Reynolds have had in relation to Justin Baldoni, it has emboldened people to come forward and talk about their experiences. Unsurprisingly, there are casualties of the narcissist's behaviour, and this can often be in the workplace. The entire company was an absolute disaster, one staffer claimed in a bombshell exposé. The workplace allegations that Blake is making now against Justin Baldoni are deeply ironic, given that it was one of the most insane, toxic, emotionally draining and disorganised environments you could imagine. Now, narcissists create chaotic environments. Not all, but many, because, of course, the drama creates fuel for the narcissist. And when there is a toxic and chaotic environment, you have the shifting sands, which makes it far easier for the narcissist to control the appliances that are people. Similarly, the narcissist, operating in the now with the purpose of asserting control and drawing fuel, becomes haphazard. There's no consistency in decision-making. What's right at 9 a.m. is wrong at 10 a.m., becomes right again at 11 a.m., and is wrong again by midday. People do not know whether they're coming or going, and this is all generated by the fact that the narcissist doesn't operate with consistency because of the need to act in the moment. Lively launched Preserve, an online shop that sold artisanal home goods, in 2014, but it shuttered within a year. The impression Lively left on me after I worked at Preserve is that she doesn't care. Absence of emotional empathy, lack of accountability. A second ex-employee shared, it was a really toxic work environment. One staffer recalled a time when the It Ends With Us actress was set to host a photo shoot for the brand at her Westchester County mansion, but when Preserve staffers and a model arrived, she allegedly came out of her house looking like an absolute mess. Her brother, Eric, who was reportedly hired to be the creative director of the company, was allegedly also careless with his role and often overslept, leaving many staffers to wait outside in the cold before they were let into the Manhattan studio apartment where the company was based. So it looks like Lively had selected her brother as creative director, nepotism, favouritism for him. Former staffers also claimed they had to sit on the floor of the studio for months before furniture arrived. The company was entirely unprofessional. For many weeks or months, there were no desks. The irony of it being a lifestyle site that was selling these really expensive wares was not lost on anyone. Accordingly, the company, which was meant to be run and governed by Lively, was one that she'd put her brother in charge of, one where things were not being done, the staff were not being looked after, but did she care? The answer appears to be no, which is, of course, naturally the case as a consequence of her narcissism, her having no emotional empathy for the way that people are treated. Former employees further alleged they would often have to work a crazy amount of hours. Again, expecting people to work for a long period of time is the sense of entitlement and absence of emotional empathy of the narcissist. 2 staff members claimed they were unable to afford subway fares when they were not paid on time. Again, running a company and failing to pay people on time shows an absence of emotional empathy and a lack of accountability. According to the report, some staffers allegedly received settlements of up to $300,000 after threatening legal action over their mistreatment. However, all of the company's inner turmoil stayed under wraps, owing to Blake Lively's longtime publicist, Leslie Sloan. Leslie Sloan shut it down. She buried every single thing from that company. Lieutenant of the narcissist, nullifying potential threats to control by closing down stories of adverse behaviour. In an interview with Entrepreneur in 2023, Lively said, "I poured everything I had into that company, but noted behind-the-scenes stuff that we just couldn't figure out." Notice there's no sense of accountability for what's gone on. She didn't go into great detail at the time about some of the issues her company faced. Instead, she remained largely silent about it, staying in a position of withdrawal. The exposé comes as she's embroiled in a serious legal battle with Baldoni, whom she has sued for sexual harassment, launching a smear campaign and several other claims, which I've spoken about in parts passing. But here we have more evidence provided by people who finally felt able to talk out about the insane and toxic working environment created at a company that was created by Blake Lively. That her absence of emotional empathy has led to people sitting on the floor because there was no furniture. Her absence of accountability has meant that people were not paid on time. Her sense of entitlement means that she just treats these people like the appliances that her narcissist causes her to see them as. They're there to work for her, and they are there to do as they are told, working extra hours, not being paid, finding themselves in an environment that was chaotic, because it's all about the delivery of results for her, to make her look good, to ensure that she is seen as the successful one, and bugger the people that work for her. They come way down the list. They aren't a concern to her, because her narcissism means that she doesn't have appropriate concern for them by virtue of her sense of entitlement, lack of accountability, and absence of emotional empathy. It's no surprise to find that this is the case in respect of a narcissist such as Blake Lively, and by understanding her narcissism, the problems that arose with this company, we are able to determine arose simply as a consequence of her narcissism and the way that she behaves. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.